Hello, horror hounds. Welcome to my horror house. Spooky season is upon us. And seeing as I can't sit down and watch a horror movie with all of you all, which would be phenomenal, I thought the closest thing I could do was to record another commentary so we can sort of virtually watch it together. I've got my snacks ready. I've got my drink. I've got Halloween 3 Season of the Witch DVD in place and ready to go. So if you want to sit down and watch the movie with me, grab your drinks, grab your snacks, have your DVD or Blu-ray in the machine, or if you're a space baby from the future, have it ready to stream, and we're going to hit play and get ready for Halloween in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off. I'll just take a little sip of drinky. Malbec, if you're interested. Bottle of red wine by my side, and a bowl of Skittles. I'm really pleased that Halloween 3 has found its place in the fan community. Maligned for so long. People slowly came round to it, and now it is... I think it's a firm fixture in the Halloween season. I'm so glad it's got the love it deserves. Who would have known when it was being made that GIFs and the internet and social media would have been a thing? But the flashing pumpkin logo and the little jingle in the countdown to Halloween has really, in recent years, become part of the build up to Halloween celebrations, and I'm so happy that the horror community has embraced it. It's a weird, quirky, original little film. I love it. It's got a mean, dark heart. It's got a sick sense of humour, and so what? It hasn't got Michael Myers in it. I'll tell you a secret. Lots of films don't have Michael Myers in them, and lots of them are still pretty good. I really like these opening credits. And a nice little continuity from the opening credits of the first two Halloween movies, and the actual pumpkins and the things that they do there. But here, it's synthy, computer generated, an air of mystery at the start as to what we're actually seeing. I mean, it's perfect for the movie itself. It's a perfect little encapsulation of what the movie is. What exactly is going on? It's weird and synthy and kind of cool, and I like the vibe of it, but what exactly is it that I'm looking at? It just fits so well, and it just slots in nicely as a cousin to the opening credits of the first two Halloween movies. Deborah Hill and John Carpenter. I'm going to raise a glass to them. First sip of red wine of many, I'm sure. Here's to you. I can't remember off the top of my head whether John Carpenter wrote the score for this. It sounds like one of his scores. I'm sure we'll get told in the credits at some point. It seems a bit redundant to say that John Carpenter's scores are good, doesn't it? Hey, in other news, the water is wet. Northern California, folks. October. Another little holdover from the first movies. I love it. It just sets the scene, and it's just back in with another Carpenter keyboard synth riff. I mean, apologies to if it's not a Carpenter score. It's just so Carpenter-like. And we're straight in. We're straight in with the action. What's going on? All the electronica makes sense in the end, and god damn it, I love it. I mean, we're straight in on the action. And, just so you don't miss it, that weird bulging orange thing sticking out of his trousers. he's pleased to see us. Have any of you guys been to see John Carpenter doing his live, his music shows? That must be amazing. He really creates a groove, doesn't he? He creates a vibe, and then we just settle into it. Just had a weird thought. He could have. I imagine what John Carpenter's score for All the President's Men would have been like. He could have done it. Not sure why it's taking this robot so long to strangle this dude. He should be able to just snap his neck in a second, but I think it's for reasons of plot. We don't yet know that he's a robot, so we have to think he's a human. He's sort of like faceless, not faceless, featureless, sort of bureaucratic, Men in Black type, anonymous businessman figures. They sort of sit so well as 80s horror villains in a weird way. Reagan's America, I guess. Is that right? Am I getting my timelines right? 1 hour later. This will get tedious if this goes on through the whole movie, but it won't. Chekhov's Stonehenge. If you see Stonehenge mentioned in the first act, it has to appear in the final act. Here we go. The first of, I believe, if IMDb trivia is to be believed, the first of 14 times this jingle appears in the movie. Should we count them off? I think 1. Is this perhaps the most successful fictional ad campaign ever? At this point, it's an almost 40-year-old ad campaign, and it's still trotted out for Halloween. I've forgotten how blue the start of this movie is. It's very blue. And I don't mean in a porn way. I mean, to be fair, that gets old real quick. They're coming. Maybe it is a porno. It seems I'm going to do that every time the noise happens on the movie. Tom Atkins. The man, the myth, the moustache. I always feel more settled when Atkins has a moustache. He doesn't in The Fog, and it's just not quite right. Kiss your kids goodbye. Two. She's amazing, isn't she? That's Nancy Loomis from the original Halloween. Three. Need to get a pen and paper to mark off these, otherwise I'm going to lose count. That's 3 times we've had the jingle. I'm counting the kids singing it. Fucking A, Tom Atkins is a drunk doctor. Awesome. Later on, he's going to be a shagging, drinking doctor. Absolute legend. Good job he didn't drop that mask, otherwise this film would just wouldn't happen. Oh my good lord. 4. Okay, that's kind of hyperbole. Once you get to the end of the film and realise what their plan is, it's not to kill all of us, just a very significant portion of North America's children. So come on, just stop making more of it than it actually is. A Quiet Night, so obviously another theme holding over from Halloween 2, which features the emptiest hospital in the world. Little sexual harassment in the workplace there. It was a different time. And it was Tom Atkins. Damn, this hospital is almost as empty as the hospital in Halloween 2, though, isn't it? I mean, somewhere else in this hospital, Dr. Rick Douglas from Garth Marenghi's Dark Place has to be on some sort of transatlantic transfer. Maybe even an emptier hospital than Halloween 2. We've seen, what, 2, maybe at a push 3 members of staff? He's still holding that fucking mask. Oh my god. This is pretty grim. I mean, in through the orbital sockets and having that bridge of your nose pulled out. It's unique. I mean, there's a squick value to it. Oh, and the extra hand twitching at the end. Well done. Bravo. I'm going to raise a glass to that. get a feeling that Atkins' character wakes up to screaming like that an awful lot. Oh, there's another nurse. She looks like she's 3 days from retirement. A couple more doctors in the background. It's officially busier than Halloween 2. Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. See, this absolutely unexpected. What's the actual... So, this is a film, first time you watch it, it absolutely delights in wrong-footing you. I mean, I guess people were angry at it. I mean, the received wisdom is that it wasn't a Michael Myers film, but it doesn't play fair with you for a long, long time. I mean, that's one of the reasons I like it. It's a mystery, as much as it is a horror film, and it's also a weird sort of like occult pagan sci-fi film. It's such a crazy mashup of genres. It's nothing like that at all this time. But come on, let's be honest. This is not the first time he's deadbeat dadded them. There's that mask. I wonder if the start of this film is like so blue and cold and sort of steely looking, so that mask really pops every time it's in the frame. But yeah, by all means, just absolutely manhandle the evidence. Everyone's got their grubby mitts all over it. Yeah. This is that mask my bitch ex-wife bought for my kids to make me look like a schmuck. He's having a bad day. And, let's not forget, he's also probably hungover. Speaking of which, it's time to top up the old vino. A glass of Vino Collapso. No, it's a bed. So Halloween 3's got an IMDb rating of 5.0 on the nose. I always like to at least add 1 to that score for horror films. Horror films on IMDb tend to get ridiculously voted down. I don't know why people who don't like horror films vote for it, but 6, I would give it a 6. I'd say it's probably worth even a 7 or an 8, to be frank. So ridiculously voted on IMDb. It's quite a slow start. I'd forgotten this. I mean, settle in. Love it. Love the vibe. But we really need to get out of this hospital now. Dr. Macho smells a potential conquest. I mean, he's empathetic. He feels sorry for her, but at the same time, he reckons he can probably hit it. Man, who else? I know how the film ends. Wouldn't allow for it, but who the hell wouldn't want to see more movies of Tom Atkins, detective doctor, solving more mysterious, supernatural, quasi-occult, science fiction-y crimes? That would be amazing. A sort of shagging Kolchak. Oh man, he's definitely boned her, hasn't he? Yeah, yeah. They've definitely slept together, and he's definitely dumped her, and she definitely still holds a flame. He's kind of he's kind of scum. I mean, his ex-wife is well shot of him. I'm sure she'd agree. Man, okay, Friday the 29th. What time is it? Oh, I can't believe he's actually watching this cartoon. Can we have another station? I mean, he gave it a fair whack. He really tried. Oh, okay. So look, Michael Myers does appear in this film. I would have, if they'd have carried on. Oh, here we go. Five. So in Halloween, the thing from another world appears on the television. In Halloween 3, Halloween appears. I would have liked to have thought that if they'd have carried on the anthology notion of each Halloween release a different story under the banner of Halloween, that somewhere on the TV in Halloween 4, Halloween 3 would have been playing. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? Instead, we got Halloween for The Return of Michael Myers, which is great and a real Halloween time treat to watch. But it did lead to, you know, all the other Halloween movies. I mean, you, Tom, I don't know what the hell's going on. Keen to find out. And maybe you could bring this cutie patootie along with you. Close. Look at that close. Look at the lettering on that close sign. They got really big with the SET. They started off fairly conservative. CLO. I'd have, I'd have considered redoing that. Why is he keeping records of going to a football game? This is his diary, yeah? He's an excellent diarist. His entry for the Great Fire of London is phenomenal. And nor should you. Ah, he likes the cut of her jib. And, he's not exactly busy. He's only a doctor. He's just a bunch of doctors doing that boring stuff. He's got a six-pack of beer behind him. Oh my God. Oh my word. It's kind of nice to have a scumbaggy hero, a scumbaggy protagonist. Reminds me of James Herbert novels from the 80s. Oh, here we go. Six. Yeah, these sort of rough diamonds who get drawn into this vortex of conspiracy and mystery and horror. Very 80s phenomenon. Here's a thought. So, an isolated farming community that after the war got sort of taken over by an industrialist, and then most of the community now is in the pay of this Irish industrialist and makes these masks, the silver shamrock thing. So, here's a question for you. City folk going out here to a small rural community where everyone is sort of in the employ of the local sort of land baron. Is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, is this a folk horror movie? This has never occurred to me before, but that little, it's not necessarily played up as such, but that little bit of town history, this entire montage of the entire town watching him, and then what ends up being the sort of pagan reveal. Halloween 3 is a folk horror movie. I never realised. A techno folk. Wow, paganism mixed with sort of like cutting edge, almost futuristic sci-fi technology. Halloween 3 is a techno folk horror movie. Love it. Just makes you think of Psycho there, doesn't it? Ah, the Silver Shamrock factory above the town. I'd never noticed that before. Like the old Marston House in Salem's Lot, like Castle Dracula. It's there looming in the background, watching over everything. Damn, this is a fun film. And no one tries to steal your lucky charms. I mean, if I was Irish, I'd be offended. And if I was Irish, I'd be offended about what I just did as well. So I'm sorry about that. But he's got a fucking poster of Ireland up there in the background. If you were at all unsure of where he was supposed to come from, that's a strange New Zealand accent. I mean, it is a little bit twiddly-dee. Cheery fella, this Mr. Cochran. Are all of these people in the town also robots? In which case, they're all programmed to suck up to Cochran. Which I guess if you were a megalomaniac, you wouldn't build your robots with attitude, would you? This family's straight out of a National Lampoon's movie. Chevy Chase is in there somewhere going, in the back of that mobile home going, fuck my life. Man alive, it's rush hour at this motel. He's got his blue handkerchief out of his back left pocket. I don't know what that signals. It's been a long time since I've seen cruising. It's getting late, I could use a drink. Man alive. He's trying, bless him. Give him his dues. He's trying. Man alive. It's on. The Atkins effect. The Atkins diet. We know what he's eating tonight. Hey, welcome to my commentary for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, where I laugh at all my own jokes. Vibes of The Prisoner, the 60s TV series here. I love it, which is my favourite TV series of all time, so no bad thing. Is that kitten a robot? Or has this robot just decided to adopt that kitten that was a stray? That is if all the people here in Santa Mira are robots. So many questions. So it's like a cool little thriller at the moment. I really dig it. I mean, I really dig it. There's another cat. Santa Mira's fucking replete with stray cats. Is that because all the human people who once lived here have all been killed off and replaced by robots? Man alive, the high definition security cameras there. Yeah, man. He's got himself some booze. Man alive. I love how he just gives him a swig of the drink because he's like, yeah, there for the grace of God go I. This dude is me in about 15 years' time. Do you know what? If you've got a small part, one scene, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Just fucking go for it. Fuck you, Cochran. No scenery left unchewed. I love it. I'm going to raise my glass. Raise my glass to that guy. Here's to you, sir. He's singing the jingle, which is six times. Oh, the snide son of a bitch. He's got his own drink all along. Is he having a whipped cream sandwich? Or is that maybe cheese whip? You told Mr. Cochran to fuck off for the last time, mister. Whoa. The Oh, is it coming? Oh, man, alive, it's coming off. I'd forgotten that. Good Lord. I mean, they'd be awash in arterial spray. Fountains of blood. Ruthlessly efficient. Right there. Robots are German. Yeah, fuck big business. I mean, this does have a bit of a sort of anti big business, anti consumerist capitalist vibe, similar to something like John Carpenter's They Live, which is really weird because I'm pretty sure that Carpenter is, well, I don't know exactly what his political leanings are. He always struck me as being sort of slightly to the right, but he also seems to fucking loathe corporations and stuff like that. And who knows? We're not here to get political. Shouldn't have gone there. I won't go there again. I'm sure there's a smaller towel you could find to wrap around yourself. My God, give the woman a larger towel, for goodness sake. This is her first film role. You're asking her to do this shit. Oh, my word. What's she reading? Let's see if we can make out what she's reading. Hold it still. Imagine some sort of Jackie Collins book. I couldn't see it. Thanks, plot lady. It's one way to grieve your father. I'm not one to judge. Let's go ahead and see what some of the user reviews on IMDb have put down as the headlines for their reviews. Quite true to the genre. Don't know what that means. Great soundtrack, and Stacey Nelkin is a goddess. Bizarre, interesting, ... to say the least. The Night Nobody Came Home, extremely underrated shocker. I'll go with that. Much better than I expected. Filmmakers can't win. This movie is great! 3 exclamation marks. Happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Extremely underrated. It's commercial number 8. 8 times. Atmospheric and evil. What's the bloody point? I just finished fast-forwarding this horrible mountain of crap of a movie, and a great congrats to everyone involved. Apart from Battlefield Earth, this is the only movie I've seen so far bad enough to make me cry. Man alive. A demented toymaker hatches a fiendish scheme to destroy the children of America. Through the efforts of a persistent hero, his plan is thwarted, or so it seems. Not so much a title review as a capsule plot. Another underrated movie due to its name. Carlos Casadine. Not as bad as people think. What the what? Possibly the worst movie ever made. I'm sitting here wondering, what the fuck did I just watch? I can't think a single movie that's worse, or at the very least, on the same level of suck. With everything else this movie has going on, I'm struck on why the main character has a blue handkerchief sticking out of his left back pocket the whole time. Please, for the love of all things good and wonderful, when watching the series in preparation for the 2018 release of Halloween, slip this POS, I might think he meant skip, and go straight to 4. If I could rate this flaming piece of garbage less than 1, I would. We're starting to see why it's got a 5 on IMDb rather than its deserved 7 or 8. Whoa! To be fair, Atkins has got the right attitude there. And yet again, it's like, what the hell is going on here? Bridges of noses being pulled out, heads being pulled off. Now it just escalates to this, which is absolutely horrible. Then the freaking bug comes out of her mouth. What the actual fuck is going on? And her feet's still twitching. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Much gorier than frickin' Halloween. Probably not gorier or on a par with Halloween 2. But I'd forgotten quite how nasty this movie was. I love it. Now, it's a small point, but well played to Atkins for being butt naked coming out of bed. I hate these sort of post-love making scenes where guys and girls get out of bed and they've sort of got dressed again. Atkins is about the method. He doesn't screw with his socks on. And also from this point, we know he's got no underwear on. Atkins is going commando. Maybe he always was going commando. Maybe he's a commando kind of guy. Ah, Mr. Cochran, you're so great. You're so wonderful. Oh, you have the best victims. You got to wonder, if you've got a factory with marvellous facility for emergency treatment, what kind of an unsafe factory that is. Tom certainly can't afford to stick out because he's got no freaking underwear on. I hope he's zipped up. This commentary has turned into absolute filth, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I finished that bottle of wine. I'll just open another one. I hadn't finished a full bottle of wine. That was the dregs of the last time I cracked open that one. So, luckily, I've got another bottle on standby. It is Malbec. I like a drop of Malbec. If anyone wants to buy me some wine for Christmas or my birthday or Halloween, Malbec, please. Cheers. Saturday the 30th. She hasn't left that seat since he last spoke to her. Do you know, I really want to go back and see if her tops have changed, whether she's actually changed, been at home and changed and stuff like that. Oh, landlines. Let's think, could this film have worked if they'd have had mobiles? I think it probably could have still worked. They're shipping out. Still shipping out on the 30th is maybe not the greatest business model, or perhaps it's a brilliant business model. Perhaps that ad has done its job and they've sold out all across the country and have to send out even more supplies. Okay, it works. What on earth is that brooch? Oh, it says boo. Oh, it's a ghost. And it says boo on top of some feathers. I've never noticed that before. Hey! National Lampoon's Halloween Vacation. Got a bit of a sort of Willy Wonka vibe, this family, don't they? Yeah, we've won the competition. We're here to see the factory. And the kid dies. It is Willy Wonka. It's never occurred to me. Cochran is a freakishly weird. I was going to say psychotic version of Willy Wonka, but Willy Wonka's kind of psychotic himself. He's just ultimately evil Willy Wonka. Hey, Colonel Cochran, what a guy! What a guy! Oompa loompa doompa dee doo. We've got a Halloween surprise for you. Doesn't scan. That's just off the top of my head. I can do better than that, given enough time. Oompa loompa doompa dee doo. We're going to turn your head into goo. Given how great he is at building automata and robots and stuff like that, I would have thought that he would have automated this mask making process to within an inch of its life. You don't need humanoid robots to make these masks. Cochran started off with practical jokes. See, this is what I meant about this dark seam of humour here. It's the kicker, what they're doing. It's kind of like a really, really sick joke. I mean, fanatically driven by sort of fervent religious beliefs. Every once in a while, he remembers he's supposed to be doing an Irish accent. Final processing. It sort of reminds me a bit of Jurassic Park and the scene with Richard Attenborough talking about starting off with his flea circus. There's certainly a deep seam there to be mined of Conal Cochran's past and what's going on with him. I love these little hints at this sort of showman background, this sort of idea of sort of a low rent carnival showbiz type person who becomes a true believer and merges the old ways with new technology. Insidiously works his way up to one of the richest men in the country. You know, comes from the old country over to the new world and plans to appease the old gods. I mean, it's fucking great when you get down to it. He's drinking again. We're surely about due another jingle, another advert. I mean, there's a TV on in the background. That's Jamie Lee Curtis on the phone there, and it's the jingle again. So we're at 9 9 times. It's strange for him to be walking the streets without a bottle in his hand. No wonder he feels a bit discombobulated. And the score is it is great, isn't it? And no one does sort of like mounting tension like John Carpenter does in a score. Just elevates everything. And I know this is a little bit of a riff on what he did in Halloween, especially the section where Michael is chasing Laurie Strode. But my God, if it works, it works. It's all kicking off in Santa Mira, but that handkerchief is still solidly in place in his back pocket. There's the looming factory in the background again, lit up at night while all the rest of the lights are turned off. Just great little details like that. Yet again, harking back a little bit to the Prisoner, the 60s TV series here, where all the phone lines in this sort of cut-off place are controlled by the powers that be. The CCTV, the phone lines, everything. All the people there also utterly complicit. I mean, you can. I mean, it's no secret that Nigel Neal wrote the first script for this. The guy who created Quatermass and the like, and his jam really was this sort of weird liminal space where there's an intersection between sci-fi and the supernatural. So it's not surprising that something that's got his fingerprints all over it would feel of a piece to stuff like that from the time, which dug into similar territory. I mean, there was no supernatural element to the Prisoner, but if you start talking about sort of being cut off in a small community in a surveillance sort of state, and the one person there who's trying to rail against it, you're going to butt up against things like the Prisoner anyway. I'm going to think of worse things to butt up against. Carpenter, again, this is no secret, was a huge fan of Nigel Neal. I think he was a bit hurt when Neil asked to have his name taken off this script because he didn't like the level of violence in it. It didn't stop Carpenter himself personally continuing to homage the man. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness is an absolute love letter to Nigel Neal, and again, it's that intersection between science and the supernatural, or the religious, science and faith. And I'll be honest, that intersection, that little area where you can play in that wobbly liminal space is absolutely my jam. I dig stuff like that, absolutely. One of the reasons I adore Halloween 3, and have always loved it. Halloween 3 plays its cards close to its chest. It's not until the very end you realise that it's that kind of a story you've been watching. But it does mean that on repeat viewings, you can just settle back into it and sort of realise, I mean, this is creepy AF. I mean, talk about what's the perfect way to achieve the uncanny valley? Human hands, human arms, and the model of the head. It just looks slightly wrong to the eyes, no matter how you try and film it to trick your eyes into thinking that's just a woman knitting, and then you can just cut back to the organic stuff and then the cogs, and the film just keeps upping the what the fuck ante. That handkerchief is still in place. He swings a good punch. Right, his head should be coming off in about 5 seconds, to be fair, but the plot dictates that it doesn't. But because the film, oh yeah, that's right, he's going to punch straight through his chest, isn't he? Everything's going to go gloopy, and then we get another reveal of these. It's very Doctor Who as well. I mean, it's very old school Doctor Who. Oh, there's the gloop, and there's the wires. Oh my god! I mean, Ian Holm did it in Alien. There's nothing wrong with it, but he's done now. Tom Atkins is done. I'm having the worst couple of days of my life. I wish I was at that doctor's conference. And now we get to the James Bond section of the movie where the villain reveals their diabolical plan. Can you hear the smile in my voice? This is just so much fun. Oh, he's such a great villain. Oh, I didn't notice you there. This sort of Holmesy, folksy veneer is just, he's such a piece of shit. Halloween morning. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so he's a drinker, he's a smoker, he's a shagger. He's He's kind of like a really down at heel James Bond in this movie. You know, he pulls that little thread, he starts investigating, he finds this. He eventually finds the villain in their lair with a grand scheme to take over the world, and he shags and fights his way through the movie. This is Tom Atkins as James Bond. I fucking love it. James Bond versus Willy Wonka in a horror movie. I mean, oh, it's so good. And now we're down into the supervillain's lair. This is good stuff. Vast ancient technology, ley lines and shit like that, techno pagan shit. Oh man, this is so cool. How can you not love this? Do you know what this is? I was going to say it's way ahead of its time, but it's not. It's of its time. But you could plug into these themes now, and they could resonate. I mean, he's such a Bond villain. He's stolen a piece of stone fucking henge to plug into ancient ley lines and stuff like that. It's slightly unfortunate that it's not something that's come from Ireland, but. Druid sacrifice and the like, and fused to technology. You wouldn't believe how we got it here, and I'm not going to tell you. Love it. There's just so much about Colonel Cochran that is unspoken and untold, and he's absolutely fascinating. But am I right in remembering that they're putting little pieces of the Stonehenge rock into the microchips? I mean, it's absolute gobbledygook. It makes no sense whatsoever. But my God, when it's done with such a plum, such a yeah, this is happening. I don't have to explain it. I'm down with it. I'm going with it. I'm absolutely going with it. I mean, as concepts go for horror movies, this is one of the most out there concepts you will ever find. And because most of the movie is this sort of mystery thriller building up to it, even I personally, and I've seen this movie loads of times, I forget how insane it gets. And I kind of forget. Yeah, everyone remembers. Yeah, it's the movie with the masks and the beep burp beep burp beep burp and the little jingle and the snakes and stuff like that. And I and the robots, but even I forget how fucking insane the plan actually is. It's so out there. And I think maybe the film might have made more of an impact earlier on if it had put that at the front rather than right at the very end. I'm glad it holds all its secrets. I'm glad it keeps all its cards close to its chest until the very end. Because where do you go after this? After revealing what's going on, where on earth do you go? But like I say, even I tend to forget how absolutely batshit this plan is, and the basis of the plan, and how did he come up with it, and how does all of this work, and all to just bring the original meaning of Samhain or Samhain or however you pronounce it, to bring it back, because we've forgotten, because Halloween has become too commercialized. We sell it. We sell it now. Oh, here we go. 10. 10 times. So yeah, Halloween is becoming too commercial. So we're going to fuck it up by creating the ultimate consumerist Halloween product, the Silver Shamrock Marsh that every kid has to have. And that is our backdoor into blood sacrifices again. Fucking hell, it's insane. It's dark. It's so dark. And then, right, that's what the plan is. How does it get executed? Here, now, this. Everything is building up to this. And we've had little hints, and we've up till now. And what's been a little earworm up till now just becomes something horrible. And then it's the sound design and the crunching and the squelchy noises, and then all the fucking insects and the snakes coming out. It doesn't matter how it works. It's fucking gross. Signal over the TV, activates the chip, and then does this weird... initiates this magic spell. That's fucking horrible. It's amazing. It's so great that in the background this little earworm of a jingle is now going insane and continuing. I love it. I mean, hard to watch, I guess, if you suffer from epilepsy and can't watch flashing images. I mean, this is really leaning into that. Spiders as well. Ah. Bravo. Bravo. And where do you go from here? That's amazing. And just, the mask has dropped from Cochran's face now. He's just pure evil. He's just completely dismissive of them. He's on a mission. He's a true believer. He's a religious fanatic. I'm not sure why at this late stage they're still chipping out bits of Stonehenge. I would have thought that they should... oh my goodness. 11 11 times the jingle is played. And doesn't this little montage just make you want to get ready for Halloween? I want Halloween to come, please. Oh, the Landis department store. That's got to be a little nod to John Landis, surely. All across America, the kids. And this shot is great. Them in LA, in outline. An image very similar to that became part of the poster, part of The Night No One Came Home. And this freaking loudspeaker shit going through every suburb. Oh no, here we are. Sorry, I beg your pardon. This image here of them cut out in silhouette going home. Oh my God, it's so good. And this cheery, cheery, cheery music that we now know is so insidious. Oh, I'm raising a glass. I'm raising a glass to the movie. Here's to you. Here's to you, Season of the Witch. You've done it again. You've won me over. She has changed her top. She's still in the same seat. She's still there. She has changed her top. She's been home and she's changed. Oh, God love her. She's dead. I feel really sorry for her. She just really digs him. She still holds a flame for him, so she'll keep digging. She'll do what he asks. Extracurricular. She's not being paid to do this extra shit. She's gonna get killed for it. It's not fair. It's not right. What part of the body is that in the background? Is that the digestive system in there? It looks like it, all the way down to the stomach and stuff like that. If you know, please, if you're still here with me and you know what that anatomy design is in the background, please tell me what part of the body that is. Someone's chosen it in the set design. Someone's put that up there for a reason. I'd be interested to know what the thinking behind that was. And sure, these robots here, they've got a bit of a cinematic lineage of the black-gloved killers of Italian horror cinema, the murder mystery giallo of Italian cinema. This is by no means an homage to giallo movies, but, the black-gloved killer, staple of 70s horror movies. Unusual for these robots to get creative like this with tools and stuff like that when they're so blunt force trauma. She's just worked it out. So clearly the robot knew that she was just about to work out. Well, she was snooping. She was still snooping. She should have stopped snooping. The only reason she was snooping was because of him. Oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. And do you know what? She's probably childless, so she could have ridden out this whole trauma and not been personally affected, but for the fact that she just dug Atkins, and he just fucked her and chucked her. That's not cool. Oh, I feel sorry for her. I really feel sorry for her. Of course, she would have been affected by the tragedy of all the children being killed. I'm not that cynical. This is so James Bond. Come on, my friends. He's tied up and Blofeld monologues and then leaves him to die. Oh, he does say it's a joke. It is a sick practical joke. Here we go. Here's the true believer aspect of him. Happy Halloween, everyone. Now, if you really want to fold this back into all the Michael Myers Halloween films, for one, you have to ignore the fact that Halloween was on the telly before and is now on the telly again. So you have to ignore the fact that in this universe, Halloween is a fictional movie. It's not a great stretch to imagine that Colonel Cochran is part of this cult of Thorn. There's, the runic magic, this sort of pagan magic that is part of when you get into Halloween 5 and 6 that is controlling and using Michael as a weapon. I mean, sure, the fact that Halloween is playing on the telly here, yeah, you're just going to have to ignore that, aren't you? I do like how it weirdly pointed the way, though, towards the future for the Michael Myers stories. Let's wrap this sort of pagan religion back into it. What else are you going to do with Sowen? I guess you have limited options. You either continue to have Michael be just a human who goes killing, or you try and do something with it. I'm not exactly a massive fan of the Cult of Thorn stuff, but by the time you get to 5 and 6, Jesus, you just keep rinsing and repeating. I know that that's an option. I'm not that naive. Oh no, James Bond has got out of this intricate plan to kill him that I've devised when I should have just shot him in the head. I like to think that little shot of the mask over the camera there, that shot there is also a little nod to the POV shot at the start of 1978's John Carpenter's Halloween. We are seeing through the mask from young Michael's eyes. I'm probably overthinking it. I make no apologies for overthinking horror. That's where I live. 43 share. He's also going to make a shitload of money off this then, yeah. Oh my God. Imagine if he shorted his own stocks. The big giveaway at 9, yeah. One of the things that you do have to sort of hand wave away here is that all the different time zones there are across North America. What I presume happens is that the big giveaway at 9 is on the East Coast, and then it's 8, 7, 6, or the other way if it goes the other way, and so. It is a simulcast. It's just happening in different time zones. It's happening at different times. I mean, that's the best way to make sense of that, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. It's not a problem. Nine's a bit late for a lot of kids to be up, though, isn't it? In that particular time zone. Although it's Pester Power, isn't it? The Silver Shamrock have done such a great fucking job of working their way into, the idea of Halloween. Silver Shamrock has become Halloween at this point, and so Pester Power, kids, Mum, Dad, can you get me I need a Silver Shamrock mask, I need a Silver Shamrock mask. And then, I need to stay up till 9 to watch the thing, I need to stay up to watch the giveaway, I need to do it. And Mum and Dad will probably just go, yeah, fine, for an easy life. So it's going to be the strict mums and dads. It's going to be the killjoys. It's going to be the Halloween refusenicks who ironically saved their kids. No, you're not having that fucking mask. No, you're not staying up till 9 o'clock to watch the broadcast. What the hell is that Palm Beach bucket doing there in the bottom left-hand corner? No, all the chickens are coming home to roost now. All the chickens are coming home to roost. The years and years of being a deadbeat dad, and his ex-wife isn't having fucking any of it. Now, when it's really important, he's just shit the bed. He's just fucking crapped out. He's got no fucking credit with her. Oh, poor Tom Atkins. I can't even remember his character's name. I'm sorry, but poor Tom Atkins. This is the bed that you lie in, my friend. I feel we've peaked. I'll be honest. There are still a couple more surprises. And one of the bleakest endings in all of movies to come. I suppose having seen it so many times, you just want to get to the next big beat. So this feels a little saggy, but you know, the first time you watch it, I guess the tension's there. Oh my god, really? This is some Scooby-Doo shit they're pulling off here. I mean, we're into Metal Gear Solid territory here now. This is the stealth level of the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch game. Man, actually, you could do that. You could have a Season of the Witch computer game. You could try and make your way round Santa Mira, avoiding the CCTV cameras, interviewing people, building up evidence and stuff like that. Infiltrate the factory, snoop around there. Nah, it's a shit idea. It would never work. I'd play it. I'd buy it. This is a much colder, much more cynical movie than Halloween 1 and even Halloween 2 are. I mean, those two are slasher movies, or stalk and slash movies. Remember when they used to be called stalk and slash movies before they got abbreviated to slashers? Michael used to do a lot of stalking. Slashers these days, they don't stalk anymore. But those are much more visceral types of movies. This is... you know, with its Westworld vibes and all that kind of stuff, this is slightly more cerebral. I know it's batshit insane. I know it's an absolutely bonkers movie, so it's kind of weird to say it's more cerebral, but it is colder. It is slightly more clinical, and it's really nihilistic. I haven't forgotten. 11 times. 12. Sorry. It's the wine. It's 12 times. Jesus. Can't fucking count, and I've got it written down in front of me. Here's a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. Why is electricity in movies always blue? Not these actual sparks, but when they have to special effects on electricity and zapping and the laser beams and stuff like that, it's blue. It's always blue. Why is electricity blue in movies? I don't have the answer to it. It's not a joke. It's not a setup for a joke. I don't know. That just seems to be the rule. Oh, look at him, this evil little goblin of a man. And the power of Stonehenge, the ley lines, the earth power. It's going to bite him on the ass. Oh, I love it. I love it. He's such a good villain. He's just an evil piece of shit. But he's smiling there at the end. Cochran fan fiction, please. Has he ascended to some sort of demigod status? Can he now be the spirit of Sowen? Has he ascended rather than been killed? Or does he just get that it's a really good joke that's been played on him. So if this, given the ending that is coming up, if this had been directed by John Carpenter, hold that thought. 13 times. If this had been directed by John Carpenter, it would have formed part of his Apocalypse trilogy. Final twist. What a twist. So here's the Westworld vibe. Real people being replaced by robots. It's just another form of mask making. I don't think she said a word since he rescued her, because he's not going to be able to perfect voices, is he? They're all silent, aren't they? He can't perfect voices. But in the rush to escape and stop the madman, you kind of don't notice that she doesn't say anything. So what is John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy? It's The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. So this loose, in inverted commas, trilogy of films that all deal with various different ends of the world. And I think this fits really nicely in with that. So yeah, it's got Nigel Neal's fingerprints all over it from the original script. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill as producers. It's got John Carpenter's fingerprints all over it as well. In this sort of wider patchwork of I mean, it doesn't necessarily fit in with Halloween per se, but going back to, as I say, The Prisoner and Nigel Neal's Quatermass, Dr. Quatermass and the Pit and the like. This, John Carpenter's actual Apocalypse trilogy, it's part of a wider patchwork of horror history and horror movies, and it's earned its place. It's fucking strong. It's a strong movie. I'd actually say that I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter's Apocalypse movies. John Carpenter, full stop. I'd actually say the concept of this is better than as an end of the world thing than In the Mouth of Madness. I'm a huge fan of In the Mouth of Madness, but Mouth of Madness is an absolute love letter to H.P. Lovecraft and Stephen King. Prince of Darkness is an absolute love letter to the work of Nigel Neal. The Thing is his, I mean, my God, Howard Hawks and The Thing from Another World. And this Halloween 3 Season of the Witch wears its influences on its sleeve as well. I just dig it. I think it's of a piece with those. I think it really needs to sit alongside John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy more than people worrying that it messes up the Michael Myers stuff. Which I'm sorry to commit horror heresy, but it's not that interesting. I mean, I like Michael Myers. I'm getting kind of psyched to see the new movie. It's a new horror movie. It's a new Michael Myers movie, but he's not that interesting. This and its cousins, much more interesting. 14 times. And now Tom Atkins is fucking selling it. Just selling it. Met him at London Film and Comic Con a couple of years ago. Told him quite truthfully that the reason I went there that year, there weren't loads of guests I was interested in seeing that year. 15. The reason I went there was because he got announced late, and I was like, yeah, god damn it, I want to meet Tom Atkins. So he signed a photo for me. I chose one that had him and the masks in it. So he signed it to me, and also wrote "Turn it off!" exclamation mark. This is the ending of this movie is so good, and he fucking sells it. Stop it! Stop it! Brilliant. It's so bleak. It is so bleak. Daniel Challis, that's who he was called. Sorry, Tom. I was calling you Tom Atkins all the way through, but my God. What a good movie. Right, one of the things I like to do over end credits is wait and see if any of the crew have given themselves nicknames in the titles. So we're going to hang around for that. Okay, one of the assassins was Dick Warlock, who was one of the actors to play the original Shape in Halloween 78. Dick Warlock, also an amazing porn name. And then it just ends, by the way. By the way, all this intercutting. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And then it just fucking ends. So bleak, so bleak. Please tell me that this is a cousin to Prince of Darkness, to The Thing, to In the Mouth of Madness. It sits there, and it sits within this sort of like John Carpenter mentality and that John Carpenter vibe. Much more than, obviously it doesn't sit with the Michael Myers stuff. And even here over the end credits, we get a slightly different melody, a slightly different thing, something else to just wave you on your way, and just a nice little treat to close out the movie and to just decompress. No, Dick Warlock was the stunt coordinator as well. Good on you, Dick. Raising a glass of Malbec to you. I'm going to have a sip. Here's to you, Dick. Come on, we've got to construction and foreman now. We've got to have some nicknames. I'm going to be really pissed off if there are no nicknames. Is that a modern phenomenon of putting the nicknames in? We're not going to get any nicknames on these end credits, are we? We're not. Oh. A no nickname end credits. What a damp squib to end on. I really, really hope you have enjoyed hanging out with me for Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I've really enjoyed watching it again. If you have enjoyed this is the second sort of commentary track that I've done. Previous to this, I did Halloween Resurrection and got very drunk and angry as that film carried on. Got drunker and angrier. I'm much more jolly by the end of this film. If you've enjoyed it, thanks for sticking with me. Halloween is coming. I hope you have a really great Halloween. If you'd like me to do more of these, maybe let me know what stuff you'd like me to do. It's got to be things that everyone's familiar with, everyone knows inside and out, so you don't mind me babbling through it, but also you don't mind sections of silence. I can't fill 90 minutes or these days 2 hours with new films of insightful information. I can just get drunk and make innuendos. This has been excellent fun. If you're still with me, grazie mille, and I hope you have a very, very happy Halloween.